Okay, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the story of the time I got into self-improvement about 4 years ago, and how for the past 4 years I've been succumbing to self-sabotage and therefore completely and always failing in my self-improvement. Matter of fact, I've got like 20 different journals that I've got here, which all describe my experiences and my feelings and my failures, and the amount of nights that I would come and journal about the fact that I'm going to quit video games tomorrow, or I'm going to finally start my morning routine tomorrow, and I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. only to wake up at 9 a.m., like hours later than I said I would, and wake up in shame and guilt and have that kind of repeat all throughout my life for the past 4 years. So buckle in, grab some tea, and let's get straight into it. So in 2000, by the way, by now I've also dealt with those problems, so I'm glad to say I'm no longer that person. I've been able to overcome, which is how I've been able to be on this YouTube channel, consistently uploading a video every single day. So make sure to subscribe, because I upload a video every single day without missing a beat. So let's get straight into the story. 2022, I went and I traveled to Turkey by myself. The idea was to meet with my dad and my uncle at the time in Antalya in Turkey, and we were going to do a road trip around the Mediterranean. I think I was 18 at the time. Yeah, I was 18 years old. And so I flew to Turkey by myself. It was like a last minute trip. And essentially the halfway through our trip, like 3 days in, the trip actually got cancelled because my grandpa got diagnosed with cancer. So my dad had to fly back to Australia and organize some sort of thing to get my grandparents to Australia, and so that they can receive better, care, essentially medical care. Excuse me, my friend's about to die. Okay, so let's continue. So eventually my uncle flew back to Thailand, which is where he lives, and my dad flew back to Australia, and I flew to my hometown in Turkey, which is called Kahramanmaraş. Okay, if you don't know where it is, yeah, that's kind of the point. It's in the middle of nowhere. Nobody really knows where it is, but it is famous for Turkish ice cream, which happens to be my 9 to 5 current job right now. That's how I make money on the side while I record you guys YouTube videos and also work on myself as well, sustain my own business essentially. Anyhow, so I went back to my hometown and stayed with my grandparents, not the one that got cancer from my mum's side, my grandpa and my grandpa. And I was there completely alone. I had no dopamine, no video games, right? Because I was the kind of guy that was playing video games every day. I was also smoking weed every day, going out with my friends, experimenting with LSD and listening to music, and I wasn't doing much. I was just living that life of video games. Pretty much video games every day for ages. Fuck, it's so loud. So when I got there, I stayed there for 30 days, completely alone, in an apartment room in the middle of the Turkish summer. It was like 46, 45 degrees Celsius every day. And I got so bored, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole. And that's where I found self-improvement. I came across all the normal types of self-improvement, but something particularly stuck with me. And that was Hamza at the time. And Hamza was really popping off. He was really, popular at the time. So I started watching him. And because I thought I had nothing else better to do, I just binged his content. And somewhere along the line, I decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to fly to Amsterdam. And so I did. I flew to Amsterdam 7 days by myself, experienced that little life. I acted like a digital nomad essentially. And then came back to Istanbul, stayed in Istanbul for 4 nights, and then flew to Thailand, stayed in Thailand for 7 nights, and then flew to Australia. And in Thailand, I got to live my dream life. Guys, I essentially pretty much experienced heaven on earth, okay? And this is an important part of the story, which we're going to get to in a second. Thailand was incredible. I stayed in an island called Koh Phangan, and it was the picturesque sunset on the beach, swimming, warm waters, palm trees, smoking weed on the beach, working on my laptops, riding a scooter, eating fried rice. It was just the dream life for me, and I got to live it. So when I went back to Australia, I was obsessed with two things: self-improvement and going and living in Thailand. I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed to the point where, like, I became so desperate, which again I'll get into. I became so desperate and so critical of myself that whenever I didn't get results, I would self-sabotage and literally like hurt myself mentally. And it got to a pretty bad point. But when I got back to Australia, I started positively. I was optimistic. Hell yeah, I'm going to start my YouTube business. I'm going to start recording videos and I'm going to go to Thailand and, I'm going to live this kind of lifestyle. And yeah, it's going to be all worth it. So 2022, August, I start my YouTube channel and I record my first video about how to gain productivity or how to gain momentum and increase your productivity. And I recorded in my dad's Mazda, what is that car called? Mercedes C-Class or some shit. I don't know, man. Anyhow, that started my journey and I was optimistic. And I had a lot to deal with, guys. Confidence issues, speaking in front of the camera, my fear. I thought I looked ugly. I thought my voice was gay, all that kind of shit. And I've come a, pretty long distance. I mean, I'm pretty shirtless and naked in front of this video right now, which is, I wouldn't be able to do in the past just because I thought I had a really terrible and ugly body. Anyhow, we'll get into that. Relax. A couple months in of recording, I started to lose a bit of hope, as one does, I got a bit caught up in the worldly life. I don't exactly remember, but around the time I was really hanging out with my friends. I made these like group of friends after coming back from overseas, and I began to hang out with these 4 groups of girls that were from Europe, all from Belgium. And they became my good friends. So we did road trips. We went on like 2 or 3 different camping road trips. We went to the city. We went to the beaches. We went hiking, mountains, everything together. So we would like hang out every week, every weekend. And at the time I was hanging out with my best friend as well. We were driving around. We were hanging out a lot. And so my attention was kind of divided between living this life versus actually focusing on my business, my YouTube career, my actual goal. Remember, going to Thailand, living there. And, as soon I would realize, which is financial freedom and working for myself. Because somewhere along the line of this life, I realized, this is awesome, but I can't do this forever. Because at one stage, I gotta move out and pay for my own bills and, pay for this and pay. Like, I was working 2 or 3 times a week, making decent money, but just enough for me to go out and live that life. I wasn't paying rent. I wasn't worried about investments or sorting out my future. What is my purpose? I wasn't really worried enough. I wasn't serious enough or focused enough on that point. So that became the question somewhere along the line, and I began to worry a bit. So what I decided to do is I'm going to save up all my money and I'm going to fly back to Thailand and I'm going to become a yoga teacher and I'm going to see what happens. And that's what I did. For 8 months straight, I saved up all the money that I could. I worked every 4 or 5 days a week. I saved up as much as I could while still playing video games and buying weed, by the way. It was just kind of shit. But yeah, I saved up as much as I could, like $500 a week, $600 a week. And then May the 1st, 2023, I landed in Thailand, Koh Samui. By this time, I decided that I would record my videos in Thailand as well. And I was going to record my YouTube trip in Thailand and my experience with learning about yoga and everything like that. And that's what I did. For the first few days, I recorded a couple videos on my old YouTube channel, uploaded them, and I just focused on really having a good time. So I stayed in Koh Samui for 2 weeks, and it was the best. For the first time in my life, I lived in an island, had my own scooter, lived in a little villa place by myself in a resort, watched the sunset go down with a coffee and a joint in my hand and swimming in the ocean every night and recording videos here and there and getting on the scooter and driving off on the mountains and shit. Dude, it was incredible. I was living my dream again. Guys, you have no idea how important this was for me. I was living in heaven. And so after that Koh Samui trip, I went to Koh Phangan for my yoga training. And for a whole month straight, from May to June, I did a yoga teacher training course. and it was incredible. I met so many amazing people. I had many incredible experiences. I became a yoga teacher, and I found my favorite island in the world, Koh Phangan, and I had an incredible time. And because my uncle also lives in there on that same island, so I got to see him. Had my own bike, made my own friends, going to waterfalls, watching the sunset together, going to the nude beach, taking mushrooms, all this kind of shit. It was incredible. And I was recording YouTube videos casually. Anyhow, long story short, I actually ended up managing to become employed by that yoga studio as a manager. And so I stayed in that island for another 4 or 3 months straight. And I was a manager there, managing the studio, helping the students out, cooking food for them and everything. It was incredible. By the time I had to come back to Australia, September 2023, guys, I came back with such optimism again. I thought, you know what, I'm going to lock in. At the time, I was a bit confused. I thought I was going to start a gardening business and, start selling fucking produce to my neighbors and shit like that. I was a bit confused. But I found my way after a while. But unfortunately, I did fall into a trap again. I lost hope somewhere down the way. I really lost hope. I always struggle with consistency, and I lost hope and I fell for the university trap. So I decided to sign up to become a video game developer in, I think, 2024. I think late 2024, October 2024, I think I signed up to become a video game developer. I went to video game school, right? I got a PC, started playing video games again, 11 hours a day. I barely showed up to school. I was depressed. I was questioning myself. I knew I had to do YouTube videos and I was doing them on the side. And the funny thing was, I was recording videos about like discipline, masculinity, and hard work, but I wasn't doing any of them. I was actually a very anxious kid inside. I was a kid that was overthinking inside. Remember these journals that I have? All these journals I would fill out because full of my fears, full of my doubts for the future, full of questioning myself of why do I keep relapsing? Why am I still this way? I would always overthink and overthink in these journals, and I never really got anywhere. I never realized identity was my problem. I had an identity problem, my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind had belief systems that I believed which did not work for me. I believed I was inconsistent, undisciplined. I believed I was lazy. I believed I wasn't worth it. Literally, I believed these things. And because of that, I could never stay consistent with the gym. I could never stay consistent with YouTube. I could never quit video games, quit these bad habits, actually take my life seriously and find my purpose and be consistent in anything that actually mattered to me. And remember, focus on my goal of going back to Thailand. I could never actually stick to something that I genuinely felt was aligned to me and stick to it long enough to see some results. All because of my subconscious mind and my belief systems. Over the years, I've read a few books. This is one book that I highly recommend, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And there are a few other books that I recommend. I do like community posts here and there. So just make sure to subscribe and, check out the community posts. I post again every single day. So every day you go on YouTube, you'll have something to see, okay? But yeah, that was me, guys. Sorry, I'm getting a dry throat. Unfortunately, I always managed to get distracted by video games. It wasn't until 6 months ago I actually quit video games for good, or even 4 months ago, something like that. It wasn't that long ago, boys. And yeah, I've obviously been better for it, and it only took me this long because I never thought I could quit video games. Literally, I never thought I could quit video games. Isn't that insane? And again, it was all a belief system. I've been making videos on this channel explaining to you how you can change your own belief systems, how you should go about living in a more regulated, relaxed way as well. And I've also got a school community, which I highly, highly recommend you join. It's a chance for you and I to actually talk to each other there. So yeah, that's something you can consider. It's the top link in the description. But yeah, the whole reason I got to this point was being able to work on my belief systems coming to this. I mean, guys, if you've seen, I haven't missed a video. I've been uploading every single day. I've built this channel. I've been improving every single day. I've been showing up every single day. And, you know, I don't feel like I'm working hard at all. I feel like this is effortless for me. I've got videos in advance every single time, 5 days in advance, 7 days in advance, sometimes 2 weeks in advance. I've got videos scheduled. And it's because I genuinely like doing this stuff. I find it effortless. I believe I'm an artist. And because I believe I'm an artist doesn't force work. He doesn't force art. So guess what? I work whenever I want. I get to record whenever I want. And I get to help you guys in that way, all because of my identity and my belief systems. My subconscious mind has a belief. It generates the emotions, the thoughts, and the desires in my body, which I act upon. And because my body generates the thoughts of, hey, this idea, guess what? This idea, guess what? This idea, hey, this is when you should stop working because you're burning out, you know? I'm in touch with that because, again, I believe I'm an artist. It's just an example, guys. It's just an example I'm trying to give you. But yeah, it's what got me here. Now, coming back to a little bit of the story and tying it up, it wasn't again until late 2025, September, I think, that I went to, late September 2025, last year, I went to Bali and I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm locking in. You know, I'm going to Bali. I'm going to stay there for, I thought I was going to stay there for like a good month or two, but I ended up staying for 2 weeks, which is a big regret of mine. Think of myself now, it's fine. It was a lesson. But yeah, I came a bit too early. I came back to Australia a bit too early and almost fell into a rut again until the new year. January 2026, I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm sick of this. I'm 24, I'm old enough. If I don't lock in, it's all over. That's pretty much what I decided. I know it was a bit negative, but in overtime at February 2026, I really decided to work on the positive and really work on like developing a positive mindset. And here I am, you know, March, the 8th of 2026. But yeah, in 2026, I decided, you know what, if I don't lock in now, I'm lost like forever. That's literally what I thought to myself. So that's what I did. I locked in, started a fresh channel, started from fresh, uploaded my first video, have been uploading every single day. And yeah, here we are. We've made some great fucking progress. I'm really happy about this. But yeah, boys, again, I realized it was all a self-identity issue. I was always self-sabotaging myself, always doubting myself. My mind, like guys, the world sometimes is a cruel enough place. Why is your mind also cruel? You know, that's something I like to say to myself is like, come on, man, go easy on yourself. Really, just like decide to work on your subconscious mind. Decide to work on your beliefs. Again, I really encourage you to get into that school community. It's a chance for you and I to walk together. And I've actually got courses in there to help you with changing your identity and your belief systems as well. So you can pick advantageous ones and pretty much cruise through life as I've been doing. And it comes with, again, there's a few things you need to do like meditation and visualization and gratitude and stuff, which by the way, I think I'm on 39 days of meditation now. I lost track of the habit. I haven't checked the app in a while, but 39 days of meditating every single day. Pretty happy about that. Very grateful. You can get that streak as well, guys. If you see yourself as the kind of person that meditates and you truly believe that you are somebody who meditates on a regular basis and that meditation is important for you, you believe it and it becomes your identity, then guess what? You end up meditating every single day. It becomes easy for you. Mind, belief systems. Life is just a massive test. Life is a game, and this game is just a massive test. It's a test of faith. What are you going to believe in? You know, at the higher level, are you going to believe in God or are you not going to believe in God? But on the more earthy, like worldly level, are you going to believe the world is easy or evil? Are you going to believe in hard work or smart work, or suffering or joy, or passion or happiness, judgment, so on and so forth? It's just a game of faith, okay? It's up to you what you believe in, and that's exactly what you will experience. So pick your belief systems wisely. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you kind of related to that. I'm 24 now, and again, well, I'm not 24 yet. I'm 24 on the 17th of March. It's the 8th of March as I'm recording this. So, yeah. It was now or never. It was now or never. And here we are. Here we are, man. Proud of myself, and you should be proud of yourself too. Much pleasure, and I'll see you around.